Thank you. Senator Markey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The independence of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is vital to the safe operation and decommissioning of nuclear energy infrastructure in the United States, as well as critical to the trust of the public in the nuclear industry. But the Trump administration would rather kill the NRC's credibility to cut corners than to keep us safe. Mr. Nee, do you think it's appropriate that political appointees in the White House now get final review on NRC decisions and documents through the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs and can even intervene to make those decisions less protective of public safety?
Senator Markey, thank you for the opportunity that we had to discuss some of the issues that are important to you prior to this hearing. Senator, well, let me first say, I have been away from the NRC for almost 5 years, so I'm not current on how the OIRA process that you referenced is currently being implemented in the federal government. If confirmed, I assure you that I will seek to understand that current way of doing business. And what I also commit to you is that...
Well, here's where we are. This administration has already shown it will fire NRC commissioners who it sees focusing too much on safety. That's the commissioner you're replacing. And I wouldn't put an electron's worth of confidence that they won't meddle with NRC regulators. Will you stand up if the White House tells you to compromise on any nuclear safety decision which you have made?
Senator Markey, if confirmed, I will faithfully commit to carrying out the NRC's independent safety regulatory authorities.
Well, you're going to be challenged. Okay, it's coming. The NRC has recently posted job openings to try to replace some of the 200 NRC staff that have left since the start of the Trump administration. But the applications posted online don't just ask about technical qualifications. They include a loyalty test about which of President Trump's executive orders are the applicants for a job at your agency. What are their favorites executive orders from Trump? And they have to answer that in an essay question. Mr. Nee, which is more important in hiring, qualified NRC staff or fealty to the president and his views on executive orders, or is it the technical expertise in nuclear safety that should be what guides who gets hired at the agency?
Senator, in my experience in working at the NRC, it has always been evaluation of the technical qualifications and merits of the candidate for a particular position, and if confirmed, I will commit to working with the other members of the Commission and the senior leaders at the NRC to ensure that NRC hires only the best technically and competent candidates for positions.
Well, I'll tell you, these are mission-critical permanent civil service positions that do not serve at the pleasure of the president. And not only are they civil service roles, they are civil service roles at what is supposed to be an independent agency. Qualified job candidates should not feel that their employment is conditional on pledging allegiance to Donald Trump, just as independent commissioners should not feel that their standing at the agency is based on their personal loyalty to this president's marching orders. Their only loyalty has to be to nuclear safety to protect communities where nuclear power plants are located around this nation. Mr. Troutman, a few weeks ago, EPA announced a plan to prioritize the review of chemicals used in AI data centers to make it easier to build AI data centers. Administrator Zeldin at the EPA, he said this, quote, "The Trump EPA wants to get out of the way." Mr. Troutman, which provisions of our toxic safety laws tells EPA to get out of the way of reviewing chemicals for safety?
Senator, I appreciate the question. And with regard to the review of those pre-manufactured notices, nothing will change with regard to the robust review based on the risk-based statute enacted under Section 5 of TSCA.
You're going to be under orders from Administrator Zeldin to get out of the way. Get out of the way in terms of chemical safety. And it doesn't say anywhere in any law that that's your job, because this administration ultimately wants to make communities sick again, dumping toxic chemicals into our air, into our water, into our land. If they're big tech bosses who sat right behind the president at the inaugural want it, are you going to guarantee that there will never be a compromise of safety of toxics, even though the EPA administrator is saying that's what he wants you to do?
Senator, I commit to following the statutory requirements and the regulations, the rules that Congress has enacted, and to follow the science and what the statutes require with regard to the review of chemicals, either new or existing.
That's not what Lee Zeldin is saying. Lee Zeldin is saying, no, he's not going to follow the law. He's going to get the Trump EPA out of the way so that these plants can be built without the protections against toxic chemicals going into the lungs of Americans, okay? That's the administration you're joining. That's the boss you're going to have at the EPA, Lee Zeldin. EPA will now stand for every polluter's ally. Your job is going to be to stand up to him. I'm not hearing you say that today, sir.